In this video help, we're going to start out on the application by going to the app map. In the app map, we're going to be going to the project data screen. Let's go ahead and go there. When you're in the product data screen, you're in the beginning of the application. The purpose of this screen is to put the project data into the screen. Now, the way this works, it's separated into two locations. The bottom is each project that is currently in the database, and the top is where you add a new database project. The way that works is you go to the Do Action menu and you click on New Record. Now, I said before that if you do not have New Record in the popover, then that means that there is no new records being added for that screen, and that's mandatory. Do not go in the upper menus or use the iPad or iPhone menus to add a new record. Always look in the Do Action button to make sure that there is a new record allocation there to you, or selection for you to click on. In addition to what you see in the Do Action button is to hide and show the menus. The way this is used, if you need more real estate, either on the server in the cloud or on the iPad or iPhone, you would click this and it'll toggle back and forth between showing the menus either at the bottom or top of the screen, and then when you toggle it again, they'll bring them back again. There's a Start Find where you're going to do a search using the fields at the top of the screen. You do not use fields in a portal because there are multiple records and it doesn't know how to use those records as far as sorting or locating information. You would go to the actual individual record by clicking the icon at the end of the row normally. In this case, this one actually changes screens. But if you're in a normal portal, clicking the record at the end will take you to the portal for that record, where there's an individual record, and you can go ahead and do your search in that screen. In addition to the Start Find, when you typed in some information in one of the fields above up here that matches the type of field information, like either a calendar date or a name or a title or any portion of the title, for example, I could put Lewistown in this and it would find all records that had Lewistown. Or I could put anything else, for example, like power plant. It would find all the records that had power plant as far as project name with power plant in it. The next thing is to go to the next record, the prior record, and the first record. This is a way of navigating when you're not using a find and you're not looking for a specific record and you just want to cycle down or up or to the first record in the list. Now, the way a database is created is it creates a number of main records, and this is called a parent record. If you recall, I said if there's a new button on a screen, then that is a parent button for a parent screen. Now, the information that is added is typed in this screen. It's all first-time entry. Then in a relational database, what happens, this information is then passed to other screens that are used within the application. You'll see this data repeat and show on different screens when you add it the first time. So initially, what you do is you start out on this screen putting in the data that is required here. It says required with a star. So all this information in this first portion of the screen is required so that it shows up on the other screens within the application. Now, as I said before, you can do an optional find to find something as far as this information is concerned up here, or you can come down to the project listing, and eventually there would be quite a few different projects listed in here, and you add a project number at the top of the screen and it fills in down below. You do not have to add the data back in here again. So once I've created it, I can click at the end of the row to change between different projects, and then the display of information at the top of the screen will change. So what we're looking at here then is information that is for this record only, and to navigate to that record, we go by the project number. Now, a little bit about project numbers. Your company may have many different ways to do project numbers, but they should sequence in order. For example, if this was P000200, the next one should be 201, 202, 203, and so forth. If you skip a number, that's because you either did not put it in correctly or you had a reason for not using that particular number. They should just sequence in order, and I purposely show you in the sample record here that we're missing number 2 and number 4. So you would see immediately that there's an issue. When you create a new number or a new record, it's going to pop up in here and show you what the next sequential number should be. So 206 would be the next one. So when you create a new record, you would have put P000206 in here. The record date is automatically entered. The project date is the project date when it's starting as far as the effort is concerned. In this particular case, the actual 21st of November, just before the actual planned start is. But this is the planned start of the app, where you probably get your proposal approved and you're now under contract. The name of the particular effort that you're doing, the project type that it is with a description of what you're going to be doing, and the contract to whom that is with. In this case, it's with Northwestern Electric. You would put the actual start. In this case, the start of the actual planned project would be whatever date that the process is going to actually start as far as the contract being signed. And it may start work at a later date, and you'd see that planned start and planned end. So this should be the duration of the actual effort that you're going to be doing. Then the actual end is the actual end of the project. If it was on schedule or before it ended prior to that, then that information would be in here as the end of the project. The proposed budget and the actual cost for that particular effort. So this would be the production cost. This would be the marketing sale price at $1,890,000, and then $100,000, $1,100,000. The project chief engineer, the design engineer, and the design assistant. Now you can vary this if you want to. If you're going to have changes that you want to make on this, this is a custom application, so anything that you want changed on any screen can be done as far as the application is concerned. Keep that in mind when you're going through the videos. Because this is a custom application and it needs to fit your requirements, that's what we will be doing. Now, let's take a look back up at the top of the screen. These popovers at the top of the screen produce information based on other screens that are in the application. For example, project members. Project members in this case are individuals that are going to be working either on the proposal effort or on the actual production and development of the product that you're talking about. Let's go ahead and open that and look at it. The popover comes up, and I've made some sample people in this area and their job titles, their assignment as far as what they're going to be doing, the actual budget that you're going to give to that particular effort for that person, and this should be their labor and anything that are expenses, and we'll get into how that's done later. You can see that that's going to be calculating the sum at the bottom of the app window. You can see their start date and their end date. Now, this would be the duration of the project for a project manager and a supervisor in the design department, but the sub people like design craftsmen and project engineers and design managers and stuff like that may not be running the entire length of the process. This is a way of bounding resources to say that these people need to be available over what period of time. So as you're planning and scheduling, you want to see for each project what the commitments are for these people. Now, the next thing you're going to be seeing is the project vendors. Vendors are the people that are going to be assigned by the project management team to build or to develop different process or products that are outside of your own company. Now, you can see here it has the project number, the name of the vendor, the type of company, the assignment they're going to be doing, the project contact, the contact's title, the contact's phone number, and their email. Again, at the end of the row, if you want to see the individual portal records and you want to search in there, you would click on this icon at the end, and that would take you so you can see all the different people in an individual record. Then you can do a find within that record to find an individual or a company. Notice that they should all be in their own particular section here. If I'm looking at the project vendors for this particular proposal or project, that is what is going to be showing on this screen. So if I go to another screen, another project, then those project contacts and vendors would be in that screen. So it's separated by the individual product vendors. The same thing goes for the product manager and their members within the different project. They are the individuals for this project only. The next screen, I'm going to skip over this one for right now. Project data. This is an area where you have general comments and notes about the particular project at the top level of the project. So this is an area where you're going to be keeping notes that have to do with this project. For example, if it's a date-based thing, for example, where you're assigning a proposal effort to a certain team or whatever, and then you're going into production on another dated time, this would be notes that you'd want to put in there for the general notes within the top level of the application for this project. Again, there will be project notes or other notes throughout the application where you can take notes about that specific area. Let's go back, and we skipped over Internet Object. What this is kind of a nice little thing that was created. And basically when you open this, it comes up with a default screen normally in Google Search. This gives you the ability to go to Maps or YouTube, News, Gmail, or the one that most people want to go to, which is the Google Calendar. You can use that. You can also go to look at photos if you need to. Any of these will come up in this particular area. This is like having a mini browser within your application. When you open this thing up initially, you can go ahead and click this to show that you're going to get rid of that. If you wanted to log into any portion of this, you could log in as a user. For example, if you wanted to be in the Gmail screen, you're going to be required to log in to see Gmail if you had to. This is kind of interesting what goes up here. They have an underlined header for this little field right here. What this does, this takes you to a different screen, which we'll cover later, that basically gives you the ability to add a URL and a description of the individual websites that you may want to visit. So you can add as many custom websites as you want to. And in this particular case, on this drop down, you'll see that I'm in the Google search, but yet I have my website in here, which is the developer's website for OnTarget Solutions. I have a thing in here about iCal, which we're looking for iCal support for another calendar. And then we have Outlook in here for another one for using Outlook, which is the actual online login for Outlook, which means that you can use your Outlook calendar from here, from this screen, by logging in. And in this case, there's an alternate iCal calendar that's similar to iCal, but it's not the same thing. I was doing research as far as finding different kinds of sites where information would be useful. And to use for example, the login for Outlook gives you the ability here to actually log right in. You'll notice how fast these screens open. The actual loading of a browser within this application is faster than you'll see on a general browser. So it's kind of interesting that it'd be that quick. And again, you have to have a Microsoft account for Outlook in order to use this, but you can sign in or access or sign up for an account. So this gives you the ability to directly contact your calendar, your personal one, through this application. Now, each one of these screens on each project will come up and allow you to log in from that screen or navigate without disrupting any other person that's using that same screen or different screens on a different project. If you're in this project window for this particular edit, and you're staying in here, you're going to be blocking other people from getting in here that want to edit this screen. So when you're in this screen and you're done using it, make sure to go back and go to the home by clicking on home menu and go back so that you're not disrupting anybody else that's going to be working in a specific screen like this one. For example, like I said, in this project would block. If you're in another screen, it would block that project, so people can't edit it. That keeps you from having people editing on top of you. When you log into this application using your username and password, you're setting up a priority. When you're on the screen and you start to edit the screen, nobody else is going to be able to edit the same thing you're working on, or they would get a message if you're using it saying John Smith or whoever is in the screen editing, so that you don't try to add or edit information on that screen that they're working in. If you need more information about this screen, you can go to ontargetsolutions@yahoo.com, or ontargetsolutions.biz by using the main home screen support, or just going directly to that from your browser. You can also use the internet pop-up here and drop down and go right into it by using this click right here, and it'll take you into the OnTarget Solutions application store on the other, and you can see down here it's loading. You can see now it's loading the actual application and the website. And if you go in here and click, and for example, want to go to FAQs, the Frequently Asked Questions Support Center, you can go in here and, as odd as it seems, you can go down here and click these buttons and go see videos that have to do with all the different subjects that are covered in these different buttons. Or you can come to the top and get more general things about the website. When you click on this, it's got about Custom Application Store, about iTunes Store, and about Android apps. When you click on the different ones, it'll open up stuff that's related to it. Clicking the little area here gives you the information about that particular thing and answers questions. You can use this over here to ask questions by typing your email, asking the question and submitting it. It'll go directly to me and I'll be able to answer those questions for you. If you want to read some of our blog information, the blogs here slide through and it gives you the latest things like iOS and iTunes apps. Clicking README will allow you to go to it, or you can cycle back and forth to find the particular thing you're looking for and opening that particular one. Like I said before, if you have questions, you can go ahead and contact me through this website using the form above. Thank you.